Speaking of event films, I want to introduce a new segment to the show, and this is how Jose and I are going to close out every single show from now on. And this segment is going to be called Sup With Star Wars. And I am so excited to get Jose into this with me because this is something that we've been needing for a while. It's just a home for Star Wars that we can stay consistent on. So I said, why not just integrate it into the show that we do anyway, Movie Mornings? And that's the segment here. And I'm very excited to talk about this. And again, as I said, speaking of event films, I mean, let's talk about this story here. Variety, this comes from Variety. Star Wars announces new movie called The Mandalorian and Grogu. We'll talk about that title in a second from director.
Is that actually the title for
That's
it?
the working title. So from director
Oh,
Jon
working
Favreau.
title.
Well,
Okay.
we'll see. Let's read this. Baby Yoda, his name's Grogu, is headed to the big screen. Jon Favreau is directing a new Star Wars
Ooh.
movie titled The Mandalorian and Grogu. So that's the title right there from Variety. You heard it. It will go
Oh
into
my, that's the
production
name of the
later this.
movie. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get into that. It will go into production later this year. Favreau created the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, which follows a helmet-wearing bounty hunter played by the great Pedro Pascal.
The great.
I added the great, who starts the
That's
show
good. It's good you did.
show on the run to protect a young, adorable alien named Grogu, better known by fans as Baby Yoda, which, again, it's not Baby Yoda, but we'll talk about that.
It's Grogu.
It's
Yep.
Grogu. It is unclear where the upcoming film will fit into the timeline of the live-action series. I don't think it's that unclear. We'll talk about that, too. Which
Yeah,
has
I was about to
aired
say.
3 seasons and is currently in development on the 4th. I have
Oh, they're gonna
loved
do a
telling
fourth season for
stories
that.
well, we'll see. So I'll talk about that in a second. I think that Variety got some things wrong here, but we'll talk about it. I have loved telling stories set in the rich world that George Lucas created. Favreau said in a statement, the prospect of bringing the Mandalorian and his apprentice Grogu to the big screen is extremely exciting. The Mandalorian and Grogu is the first Star Wars movie in the works with momentum anyway. I agree with this. Since 2019's Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, which grossed $1 billion globally and served as the grand conclusion to the 9-chapter saga. New installments in the space opera series from director Patty Jenkins and Marvel producer Kevin Feige just spun out of existence now. Were announced but never came to fruition. No, that's basically spun out of existence. In the time since Star Wars has launched 2 more live-action TV shows in the Mandoverse, The Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka, plus the upcoming
Trash.
Skeleton
Good.
Crew. We'll talk about that in a second. Well, Skeleton Crew. What's the upcoming Skeleton Crew? Favreau will produce The Mandalorian and Grogu with Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy and Ahsoka creator Dave Filoni as he offers guidance on
Yay.
the upcoming film. Filoni will also work on second season of Ahsoka starring Rosario
Ooh.
Dawson. So we got a little
That's.
sneak
I can't
in
wait for
there,
that.
which we're going to talk about here in a second. Yes, 100%.
We
Okay.
have a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to unpack from this. So, part A, I'm just going to get the elephant out of the room. I'm very excited about this, though. Like, regardless
Oh,
of
dude.
yeah, I'm excited.
I mean, title aside, I am 100% excited for this film. I've been waiting for this. I think it's gonna be an amazing film. I can't wait.
Yeah, and okay, so first of all, the best thing here is that Jon Favreau is directing a movie. It's not like when he does The Mandalorian and he gets other creators to play in his sandbox. He's at the helm of this whole thing, so he gets to
It's
see it
him.
start
Yep.
and finish. And we know that this is a passion project of his. So I'll push back on some parts of the article. So from what I understand, this is replacing season 4 of The Mandalorian. This is season 4
So this is
condensed
gonna
down to
take.
a movie. Yeah.
So it's gonna take place right after season 3. Okay.
Right. So yeah, 100%, or after Ahsoka, maybe. I don't know. You know what I mean? But like, we could kind of figure it's gonna take place between probably Ahsoka and Filoni's movie, or actually now season 2 of Ahsoka. So season 1 and 2 of Ahsoka, right between. I would say this is where this is gonna take place, if I had to guess. That would make the most sense to me. So I definitely enjoy this idea. Season 3, aside of Mandalorian, which I just think one of the issues with that, let's be honest, and like we said a long time ago, we want to avoid the negativity of Star Wars because it's just going to make us miserable, and I abide by that. I have avoided the negativity of Star Wars. However, as I've
Same.
said, we critique things as they come, and with season 3 in particular, we had a lot of critiques about it, I think both of us, if I'm not mistaken. So I think the biggest issue with that is it was running out of steam and we could feel it. So I think condensing season 4 down to a movie just makes the most sense. I think that
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you right now, speaking of the box office, this thing ain't going to cost $200 million to make. They're going to cut this budget
Oh no.
down. This is going to be a simple story, and this is
Because
going to be,
they've
yeah,
already got everything that they have 3 seasons to work with in terms of just bringing from
yeah,
season 1, 2, and 3 over to this movie. So
yeah,
yeah, they're definitely gonna be able to condense this box office down quite a bit. It's not gonna be any of these high budgeted Star Wars films we normally get,
yeah,
which is good. Honestly, and I totally agree with you. I think that turning season 4 into a movie just is going to work better because as we've seen with season 3 again, don't like to be negative for stars, but as we saw with season 3, there's a lot of
yeah,
downsides to that season. So I definitely think that making season 4 a movie is going to work better. Because if
yeah,
we just got another season, I feel like the same thing's gonna happen with season 4 as happened with season 3.
and
So
yeah,
yeah, making the movie is definitely gonna work better.
and seeing it as how this is going to go into production. Let's see here, as soon as fucking possible. I think that it's pretty safe to say that they've known about this for a while, that this is the plan,
Yep.
because you look at season 3, what I tell you, it felt like a series finale. I think this is the end of the Mandalorian. I don't think like that means that Mando's going to die or anything. I just mean I think this is the end of that story, and we'll see Mandalorian pop up in other things and all that.
In other projects, yeah.
But I think that this is truly the end. I think this is the last. I mean, from what I hear, Pedro is doing it. So I think this is the last time Pedro will play the character. I think that this will be or at least for something that he's central in. You know what I mean? So I
I was
think,
gonna say he'll have cameos here and there in other like projects and stuff, but
yeah, 100%.
this is definitely his last central role as the Mandalorian.
And I think again, I do like to avoid the negativity of things, but like I think something that we talked about early on last year was the fact that the word of Kennedy's got to get a movie out by 25, otherwise job's gone, right? That was something that we'd heard. I say this does come out Christmas of 2025, especially if we're looking to make a very simplified film, something that's not going to be $200 million, but also just
But
has a great
still
story to it.
cinematically beautiful and
Right.
great story, yeah.
And I think we could do that and have this out by Christmas of
100%.
2025. And
Especially since he's gonna kind of like get advice and stuff from Dave Filoni as well. I feel like
yeah,
that we're definitely gonna get something incredible
yeah.
here.
And we talked about like a long time ago about them keeping these movie announcements down to a minimal. I'm okay with this because this is not
I'm
a
okay with this. I'm okay with this being the only movie we get in 2020 or like for a nice bit of
well,
time.
yeah, A,
Honestly,
it's probably going to be the only thing in 2025, and then B, as far as movies go, and then part B to that is the fact that this is also not technically a new announcement. This is them taking season 4 and turning it into a movie. So this is something they already were going to do anyway. So this is just a great
when
idea.
it was already wasn't it already announced that was it announced that he was gonna do a movie or no?
I'm sorry, who?
This is you said this is Favreau directing.
Well, Favreau's directing this Mando movie. Yeah.
Was it? It was. Oh, it wasn't announced that he was gonna direct it,
No,
or
that
was
wasn't
it?
that celebration. But
Okay.
Mandalorian season
Okay.
4 would have been a thing anyway, is my point. So it's
True.
technically something that was already coming, just being condensed. So I think that works. Condensed into something hopefully cinematically beautiful, as you said, and something cheap that can actually make a profit, and I think that this is the right way to go. Excuse me, to start small, build small, almost like how Favreau did with Iron Man for the MCU. That budget was smaller than everything we get now, yet it made a profit. It was a much more character-driven story. I think that he can do the same thing here, and have lightning strike twice. But I think at the same time,
I was gonna say he's done it once already. He can do
yeah,
it again.
I think at the same time, this is going to be a great buffer for the Ray film, because what I'm thinking is going to happen is we're going to get this first, would be my guess. Then we're going to get Ray in 2026. This is my guess. And I think 2026, probably summer of 2026, will be Ray. I think Christmas 2026, Filoni, that whatever Filoni movie.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to push back a little bit. I think the plans probably changed because there was the nugget at the end of this article, which was what? Ahsoka season 2. So let's kind of reconstruct with that new information, which, by the way, is awesome. I am a huge fan of the
Oh,
Ahsoka
dude,
season 1. I thought it was
I
great.
can't wait for season 2. It's gonna be
Yeah,
crazy.
100%. I think that they're going to. I think that things have kind of been pushed not only because A, the writer's strike, B, they got to recast Ray Stevenson. So you got that going. So I think because
Rest in
things have
peace.
been kind of been pushed, yeah, rest in peace, obviously. He gave a phenomenal performance in that first season. So I think with all that being considered, I think what we're actually looking at is, I
We'll probably
think,
get a 2027 Filoni film.
yes, that's where I was going. I think we're going to get Ray in the summer of 26. I think this movie in December of 25, summer of 26 is going to be Ray. I think
Ray.
Ahsoka season 2 Christmas time, then Filoni in 27. The big Filoni, where everything, his big Avengers Endgame movie with all the characters is in
His big
27,
Star Wars Avengers Endgame
which
movie.
Ahsoka season 2 will set up. I think is obviously where we're going.
Yeah, it'll set up. It's gonna be like a Thrawn's gonna be like the Thanos, and then he's gonna have like all of his Star Wars heroes just battle Thrawn,
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what I want. The big
which I
Thrawn
am
film.
here for.
Yes, which
Yeah,
is rumored to be titled Heir
honestly,
to the Empire. We'll see what happens. So I'm very
like
excited
the
about
book,
this.
like the book
Like
written
the
by
book,
Timothy Zahn.
like the Legends book.
Oof.
And I also think the other thing that we're going to be looking at is 28 for James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi film. And then I think after that, we deal with the Lando movie. We deal with the Taika Waititi movie, figure out what's going on there. I think that's a good plan to go. And the Ryan
Does
Johnson
the
movie that still
has
hasn't been
the
canceled. We'll figure
oh
that out too, I guess.
so what was it? That X-wing one got canceled,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Rogue Squadron is delayed
Right.
indefinitely. I think it's safe to say it's done. And I also think the same
Man,
for
that's one thing I was
Feige.
looking forward to, man.
Hey, who knows? That's going to be years from now. I think if Star Wars is in a good enough place, we could say, you know what, Patty, yeah, give it a shot. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? If Star Wars gets to that good enough place,
We
if Patty Jenkins isn't busy, why not let her do it? She wanted to do it. We just got to hope she doesn't pull a Zack Snyder and readapt that script into something else because that
was it?
that
Isn't
would
there?
not be good.
Wasn't it rumored that she's gonna do Wonder Woman 3?
She's not though. That's been canceled. So
Okay,
that's down the drain.
okay,
So
good, good,
uh,
because I don't think I would have liked that because 2 was. Oh,
well, she did one. One was incredible.
did she do 2 though?
She did 1 and 2.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say 2 was. I mean, 1 was incredible, but 2 was. Oh
But she
God,
did 1 is my point. And her filmography is
I
great
know she had one. She
overall.
had one good and one bad,
Yeah.
but you know.
Yeah. I'm sure 3 would have been fine. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the thing that I was gonna go with here, though, as far as on the Star Wars track, is like we still have exciting things to look forward to this year, which I wanted to talk about
Acolyte,
with you. Oh, let's start. Yeah, Acolyte. You got Tales of the Jedi season 2,
Skeleton
Bad
Crew.
Batch season 3, and Skeleton Crew. I don't know. Neither of us really know yet when these are coming. I mean, I'm gonna say I think Bad Batch hits first because that's usually how it goes, right?
That'd make sense. And
Yeah,
I'm ready for that Bad Patch season 3
I,
because I'm ready to see what happens.
I think Bad Batch is going to hit first this year. I'm ready for season 3. I actually said, like, I think of the finales of last year's TV shows. If we're just talking finale alone, Bad Batch season 2 did the best job in the finale because that
Oh yeah,
got me
for
so much
sure.
more hyped for season 3 than I ever thought I would be. So that's going to be awesome. Acolyte is the one we've been looking forward to most, I think. I speak for both
Oh,
of us on that.
100%.
That
Yep,
is finally a dark
for
side
sure.
central story. I'm very much
I've been
looking
waiting
forward
for
to
one of
this.
those.
Yeah. And the other thing that's going to be great is Tales Season 2. I think Tales
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 is going to be very cool. Now, I heard a rumor. I do want to get your take on what you think some of the stories in Tales of the Jedi Season 2 could be. So one of the
Mm.
rumors that I've been hearing is that they might actually show the turn of Kylo Ren, which I think would be just great to do the same way they
Yes,
did for
100%.
Dooku in the first season. I do think that would be much needed.
I liked how they because what I liked they showed that in the was it the Lego holiday shorts or whatever that was. They
Yeah,
showed
yeah,
like a
yeah. They
little
showed a
kind
little
of
bit of
funny
that.
rendition
Yeah,
of like how he turned.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we had we did have a comic as well So I don't want to like throw that under the rug. I would like to see like a loose adaptation of that comic as well, sort of the same way they did for the Ahsoka novel. They did an episode that was taken almost right out of that novel for Tales season 1. So I think that doing a Kylo Ren adaptation of the comics called The Rise of Kylo Ren, I think doing an adaptation of that for an episode of Tales
Yo,
would be
that
really
could
cool.
that could be the name of the episode, and I would already be in.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that'd be a sick name for the episode.
I would
The Rise of
also
Kylo Ren. That's
love an episode. I heard this rumored as well of Sabine and Ahsoka training, doing seeing a little bit
mm,
of that we never got to see. I also think it would give
hmm
Ashley Eckstein and Tia Sakar a good chance to come back and voice
hmm You're the
Ahsoka and
iconic
Sabine.
Ahsoka voice.
Yeah, and Sabine as well. I mean, as much as I
Yep.
thought Natasha Liu Bordizzo knocked that role out of the park, she really
Oh,
did. One of amazing stuff.
100.
And yeah, I can't wait to see um what happens there. So hopefully that is going to be kind of what we get. I mean, was there any more that you think that we can get out of Tales season 2?
Mm. Trying to think about like what else we could possibly get. There's not really anything else that comes to mind straight away. Especially if they're gonna go like with kind of like the newer stuff that we've, like the newer shows and movies that we've
Yeah.
had. I don't know what they could possibly go for that
Yeah.
we haven't seen already. Excuse me. It's a complicated one right there.
Yeah, I mean, I love
I'd be
that the
honestly,
possibilities are
I'd be
endless though.
interested to see. I'd love to see what they, what they bring for the episodes, and also how many episodes, if they're gonna do the same as last season, or if they're gonna do more or less.
Right. And like I think it is going to be the same amount if I'm not mistaken, but I think another thing that we could do, I mean, go back to the High Republic or even Old Republic. Man, I would love to see a Darth
Mm.
Bane story so much. Even though he wasn't a
Oh,
Jedi,
please,
something revolving around Darth Bane and another Jedi would be super dope. I mean,
bro!
knowing that
Darth
Bane was
Plagueis the Wise, give me that.
well, I do want to talk about Plagueis, so I'm glad you brought that up. We're going to use that as a segue because I heard a rumor, and you tell me how much sense this makes because it does to me. So we got
Yeah.
this Ray movie coming. We talked about we're speculating 26 for Ray.
26, right?
So you tell me what you think. I mean, we need a villain. We don't know
Right.
what is the only thing that like outranks Palpatine at this point. It's Plagueis.
Plagueis the Wise. Yeah.
I heard a rumor that it's going to be Plagueis. I don't know how true this is. Like I said, rumor, grain of salt. I gotta say, the more I think about it, the more sense it makes, though. Because
But surely he isn't alive during that time. Would it be his Force Ghost?
he's the only one
'Cause
that.
isn't this movie? Because isn't this movie set like years after Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, but Plagueis knew how
Like
to
what
cheat death,
34
man.
30 years, like
Plagueis knew
30
how to
years
cheat death.
after.
Everybody thought Snoke was Plagueis. I don't see the difference. So who's
People also
this?
thought that Snoke was Jar Jar Binks.
Well, yeah, but yeah, but think about Plagueis though. Plagueis makes the
Also,
most sense.
but didn't in the canon didn't Sidious kill him,
No, not.
or at least in the comics he did.
He thinks he did.
Supposedly. Fair.
I
He
mean,
probably actually did survive.
didn't Sidious get thrown down a shaft and we got him back?
True.
So this is where I'm at. I'm just like, what does
No,
outrank?
that actually, you know what? That would be so sick to finally see Darth Plagueis the Wise on screen, because we've never seen it.
I think I was thinking Acolyte, but I think Ray makes the most sense considering you need a baddie. You need
Yeah, I don't
a
think
baddie that
I
makes
don't think
sense.
I don't think it'll be Plagueis the Wise for Acolyte.
Yeah.
It just doesn't really make that much sense. But yeah,
Well,
let
it
me
does
like.
because it's dark side centered, but I
True.
also
But
think that Plagueis
I
is
feel like
more
they'd
Old
probably want to.
Republic, not High Republic.
I was about to say
Yeah.
they'd probably want to save him for something bigger as well, like
Yeah.
Ray's movie.
Well,
Because then, yeah, you think who's like the only other person, like you said, more powerful than Sidious, and that's Plagueis, and that just makes perfect sense for the big bad for Ray and her movie.
Plagueis can cheat death, so fans will accept it. I'll tell you right now. Also, you need something to get people very excited about Ray's movie. You do. You have to throw something in. If it's Plagueis, even if they play it as a twist at the end of the movie or something, everybody's gonna go see this movie. Not everybody, but tons of hardcore fans are gonna get
Bro,
stoked and
trust
go
me,
see it.
I will be front row. I'll be there like instantly.
I'll be there instantly anyway. But if it's
Yeah,
Plagueis,
true.
I'll
True.
probably go more than once.
Oh, dude, I'll go and watch it like 3-4 times in the
Right.
theaters. I'm telling you right now.
But honestly, like to me, like you need something that A gets people stoked, gets people excited about this Ray project. You B also need to I think you need something that really ties it all the way back around to the beginning. And I think Plagueis is the way to go, man.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You
No,
need that thread that the sequels were sort of missing to
it,
me.
it makes the
Yeah.
most sense, honestly.
You really need the thread that the sequels were missing, which is like again, I think as a whole overall story, I enjoy the sequels as its own story, but I just think that they're missing this thread that pulls it full circle. And I think if you're gonna do a Ray movie, give it that purpose, man. Give it that purpose that really makes it work for people. Because I can't quantify. I'm not the writer, but I can't quantify another good reason to do a Ray movie. As far as like other than seeing the character again, who I like very much. But like, as far as when you think about where she ended, you got to do something high stakes, very big, something that is carried forward from the other films. And to me, I know people. I heard some people already against it. They're going to be, and again, let's not talk about the negative part, but Plagueis makes sense. I'm telling you right now. I do think that they'll
How
go
about
back
this?
to that
How about
well.
this? An idea just popped in my head about what could happen, like solely, loosely based around like Rey starts training these kids at the end of Rise of Skywalker that have the Force, right? She kind of like starts her own Jedi Academy,
Okay, which
and then
she's doing.
Plagueis
She
just
is starting an academy.
right,
Yeah, but
right.
go ahead. Yeah,
Plagueis like comes and just wipes all those kids, and then like Rey has like her revenge
boom,
story
boom.
with Plagueis.
Yeah,
Hey Disney, if you're watching,
yeah,
just know, that I was the one that said it.
yeah, dude.
Copyright that.
Imagine that. No, that's a great concept. And
I'm
like,
telling you, bro. I've dabbled in writing, screenwriting, so I kind of have like ideas that flow through my head, and
yeah,
that's just one that came like pretty instantly to the top of my head when you said Plagueis.
yeah. You need to come up with something, or they need
I
to
feel
come
like
up with
that would
something that
be.
makes
I feel like
sense.
I feel like that would be cool.
I'd agree.
That could be that's something they could use right there because that'd be a really cool way to set up like a Rey Plagueis like revenge interaction.
I agree with you, and I think a concept like that would just have that darkness that we've all, I think, been craving from these movies. There's this darkness that it's just they've kept trying to hit that they haven't quite gotten there yet, and I think Uh, I mean, even though it's not a Sith story, with the exception of Andor, I don't think any of these things have hit the dark levels that I've wanted these projects to
Oh,
go to.
definitely not. And I
And
feel like, that's why I'm excited for Acolyte because I know we for sure will get it there.
yeah, I think we will. I think Acolyte's going to deliver on the dark promise of it. I'm
And
very
then
excited
honestly, we
about
could
that.
just keep getting more dark projects from there. I'm here for it, honestly. And I feel like the Ray movie is a good opportunity to do that, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll be idiots and we'll get a bunch of dark things, and then we're gonna be like, I want Star Wars to be hopeful again, and
I'm
it's
not too
full
sure about
circle.
that. I'm not too
It's
sure about that one, bro. Because like you don't understand inside how much I've been just craving a bunch of Sith based stuff because of all this just hopeful good guy get wins all the time
Oh,
stuff
I've
that
been craving it
we've been
too. I'm not
getting.
saying me, but I know people will.
Yeah,
I know
but
the
they're just
fans will
people.
go back full circle and be like, Star Wars needs to be
Yeah,
hopeful again. And
if they wanted, they could just go back and watch the other hopeful crap that's already been released. I sorry, not crap. The other hopeful stuff that has been released already.
they can watch and read all the dark stuff that's already been released too if they want to. I mean, Revenge of the Sith, it's a pretty dark movie.
There
You
you
could
go.
go watch it.
Oh,
But yet we still crave this stuff. So yeah, just make
yeah, but like
it.
I just want more dark stuff,
Oh,
like
I get you. No.
more dark centered stuff. So
I think it's a magical thing what that scene did in Revenge of the Sith when he spoke of the tale of Dark Plagueis the Wise. I think that scene has always kind of lingered in fans' minds, and I think that
hmm
that's what we're looking for. We're like, yeah, which is why Acolyte is so exciting, as you already mentioned. But I think we are all looking for that story to really take us down that path and get us to a
hmm
point of just absolute dark side chaos,
darkness. We're
reddish,
gonna feel
orangish lightsabers, like when you look at
lava.
Vader's on the original poster. lava,
Lava everywhere.
lava everywhere. Freaking, you know what's awesome?
We,
Speaking of lava, if you ever played the 2015 Battlefront, the fact that they redid,
of course.
oh no, but the gosh, what's the Solace? They did the
Yeah.
planet Solace in that game, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody had ever seen that, and I love that they just made that like a lava planet, man. Those are the types of planets I like to see, or even that one that was in the finale, I should say that section of Navarro that's in the finale of Mandalorian just looks so neat,
Ooh,
man,
yeah.
and like.
So sick.
Oh man, I'm so excited about the Mando movie, man. I can't wait to get back to the
Oh, dude.
Western and just dude, the music will get me pumped. Oh, I hope Ludwig scores it, by the way, because he didn't do season 3. I mean, his intro was in there, but it was
Yeah, you see,
Joseph Shirley,
that's
right?
another
Did
thing.
season 3.
That's another thing. That's another thing I was missing right there is
Yeah,
Ludwig's score.
yeah, definitely
Because
sorely missed.
because I'll say this, Book of Boba Fett might have not been an incredible show, but I'll tell you this, his score was insane.
He didn't do the score for Boba. He did the intro. Same,
Oh,
yeah. So for Boba, and it was the same guy who did Boba in Mandalorian season 3. Even though Ludwig came up with the intro for Boba, he's been kind of.
oh, well, his intros are crazy.
Oh yeah, no, I love the intro for Boba Fett. 100%. Yeah. Whoever did the one for Bad Batch, man, the Bad Batch one gets stuck in my head too. It wasn't Ludwig, but whoever did that, man,
Oh yeah, whoever did the
that was
intro for
great. That
Bad
was a
Batch
great
is
one. So there is one last Star Wars thing that I want to bring up to you, and I think that it's just incredibly exciting and is going to make you feel old. Even maybe I don't know. We'll see, but I don't know if you realize this, Jose, but this year is going to mark the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace coming up this May.
Whoa,
It's 25 years old, and
whoa,
you know
yeah.
what? We're gonna watch it and do a discussion. It's the year. It's 25 years. It's earned its place.
We need to watch it on the day it turns 25.
Well, look at how sad it is that I have a Phantom Menace poster behind me, just so I could bring. No, I'm kidding, but it is behind me, and I am gonna change that to the original one. I just need to reorganize them. Anyway, but that is gonna be just the Star Wars poster back there. It's gonna pop a little bit more too because that Phantom Menace poster is just so dark. Look, man, I mean, we
May
can.
19th. Okay, May
Well,
19th is when it turns 25.
May 19th is when we'll have a discussion out on the Phantom Menace, a review, a rewatch, whatever you want to call it, and I'm
20,
excited to
20,
do that.
25th year.
It's gonna be a good year, man. The only thing I want to ask is like, looking back at Phantom Menace, how does that, hit you at this point, knowing that we're coming up to 25 years? What
I
does the
mean,
legacy of Phantom Menace mean to
I
you?
can look. I'll say that for the legacy of Star Wars, it's amazing. The fact that it's been
Yeah,
25 years since that movie's been out.
it has its fans, man.
Um,
It has its fans.
as a movie in general, he's got many midichlorians. This kid does, bro. Shut yo.
I
I
mean,
don't know, man.
I'll tell you, 25
I'll tell you
years
this.
ago,
I'll tell
yeah,
you this. The pod racing and the fight between Obi, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul, best parts of the movie. Everything else I can go without, honestly.
I'll say this: 25 years ago, I was in a
I wasn't even
theater.
born with it. I wasn't even born when this movie came
You
out.
were not. I was, and I was 6 years
I was
old.
like, was it May, June, July, August?
Yeah.
So this movie came out 6 months before I was born.
Wow. I was 6 years old, and this movie, I was so excited. I was a child. I have fond memories of standing in a long line with my family, waiting to see this
It's like
movie.
maybe if I was born when this movie was already out, I probably would have had a different.
I knew that when I got into that line, something was different about seeing this movie. Like, there was something new. Like, I'd seen Star Wars at home on VHS tapes, all right? Like, I'd seen the original
Yeah, because
trilogy.
I was gonna say there was already 3 other movies out by the time
Right.
this one came out.
Right. But Phantom Menace was new for me. Like, when I went I've been to the movie theater before this, and I knew going into that, standing in that line, something was different. And I was greeted to a movie that made me a little bit bored as a child. That's okay. The pod racing was exciting, as you said. The lightsaber fights were exciting. That stuff really caught my eye. I remember this movie being particularly loud. like compared to other movies too. That was another thing that really struck me when I saw Phantom Menace. And just, I do remember, even as a child, something was visually different about it. Because at the time, man, those effects blew you away. I will say that
I'll tell you this right
at the
now.
time.
When I first watched the original 6 movies on VHS, I instantly fell in love with all 6 of the movies.
Yeah.
Um, but I obviously that was when I was a kid. As I got older and rewatched the movies again and again, some of them just were like, "Oh my gosh, what? How did I like this when I was a kid?"
Despite my
um,
boredom in Phantom Menace, I was still that kid, though, that was like, I need to own this on VHS. Like,
I had I had all 6 on VHS, and I have all 6 on DVD, and they all have like bonus content on them too, which is
oh, those bonus
really
features are Phantom Menace, actually. The Phantom has bonus features better than
the
the
bonus
movie.
features for honestly the bonus features for all the movies are incredible.
Watching
And
George
I'm pretty
Lucas work out his brainchild is incredible. Like, it's unreal.
and I think they all have also like documentaries on them. I think the DVD collection I have, I think all 6 have documentaries
Yeah. No,
of
they do.
like George Lucas working on it with everyone else and stuff. They're pretty cool.
100%. Yeah. No, they do. They all have incredible behind the scenes footage of, and that you could just absorb so much about the filmmaking process from. Like, it's incredible. Like, I
Hmm.
love that I can pop on the bonus features for Phantom Menace and just see the phone call that they make to Ewan McGregor to offer him the role to Obi-Wan. Like, I think that's just so cool that we had that moment on film. Like, incredible. Like, them in the negotiation process trying to get him, watching Ewan try to pick out his lightsaber. Like, that's incredible, man. Like, that stuff, that lives rent free in my brain. Those moments, man, they really do.
Yeah,
Also, George
for
just
sure.
laughing his ass off at Jar Jar Binks lives rent free in my brain. 100% great.
He has a
No,
unique laugh. I'll tell you that right
he
now.
has a unique personality.
That too.
But when I was 6 years old, man, I would sit there and let those VHS special editions play because that was the set I finally was able to own. And they had the bonus features, and George Lucas would talk me to sleep. And I think he was just like putting so much film making knowledge in my mind, laughing his ass off somewhere, knowing he was doing it too. Because, man, I swear that is the reason I have such an interest in film. I owe that to George.
Oh no, same. Honestly, I owe like all my love for filmmaking and like everything that everything in the film industry to George and John Williams and all those people that worked on Star Wars.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And the Three Stooges, 100%.
Oh
And
my
I tell
god.
you, I did grow up on Three Stooges, man. We
Oh,
can
same,
we can talk
same.
that.
Love
Uh,
love Three Stooges.
yeah, those guys are great. Anyway, those guys were great. Like they're like some type of legend now. They are legends, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't know, whatever. That just sounded weird saying it that way. I should have said like they're just some guys. Like, that's the way I said it. They're not.
They're just
They
some
are
guys.
like legendary comedic talent.